Welcome back, everybody, to Canes on Deck. Excuse me. I am listen.
Still alive.
We won a series, baby, in the ACC against an early top 25 program. I know they're not in the top 25 right now. That's a good program over there in Duke University. Got 2 out of 3 from them. With some would say not the best lineup either. So that's impressive. It's just a testament to the resiliency and pitching coming through as well. So you got to give a shout out to some of these guys, the pitching staff, really doing a good job. I know the wheels fell off on Friday night a little bit in that one inning, but that seems
that was an impressive meltdown.
That was an impressive meltdown.
That was an impressive meltdown on Friday.
It really was. It really was.
We're making a comeback. We're right the game. It's gonna go into the late innings. The speed with which it was like, well, this game's way over.
You're like 2 outs. He hits one guy. You're like, oh god. Well, he hits another guy. Here we go.
The 3-pitch Giroux performance is gotta they gotta get that in the UM Sports Hall of Fame, really.
For real, man. Well, he came back the next day and he did all right.
Yeah, pitch better. Bullpen was big this weekend. They ate a lot of innings.
They did.
Starters did not go deep.
Nobody did. Not Hughes, not Siskar, not
Darius.
Who was the start in the third game?
Darius.
Darius, I think he went the longest, right? Darius?
No, he only
4 and a third.
Yeah, I don't think anyone made the fifth inning. Yeah.
Crazy. Shout out to
1-2 anyway.
Derek Williams gets hurt. Hopefully it's not as serious as we think it might be, but so
the update I got on Sunday is it's definitely his hand, which I think you could tell on Saturday, and they hadn't fully evaluated, but doesn't look good is what I was told. So that's generally the precursor to a press release saying out for the season, but we'll
not good.
The funny thing is they looked at it, he went and finished the at-bat, ripped it. It got caught in left field, but he took a good cut at the next one, then never came back in, obviously, and then didn't see him the rest of the weekend. So
what a bad
one. That one will hurt. Yeah, but it was overall a good week. Started with the midweek game of Bethune, right? They ruled Bethune.
Yep, it was Bethune.
And then that Saturday game, fell behind. Hughes didn't have his best stuff, fell behind early, and then the Canes kind of battled back into the game, and with 2 outs and no one on, I think it was the fifth. Was it the fifth or sixth? Whatever inning it was in. I think it was fifth or sixth. In a 5-3 game, you're right in there and been pecking away. So kind of momentum was behind the Canes. Just the bottom fell out. It was, I think, a walk, a single, hit batter, grand slam. It's just 5 runs like that. It is 10-3. This game is over.
So bad.
We did get that was what we mentioned. Giroux came in there and hit the 2 batters. Mikey gave up the bomb. And then gave up another bomb on the next pitch, by the way. That's what was 11-2.
Yeah.
Back to back. They obviously struggled there. But other than that, I think we want to talk about Carson Fisher's gotten a lot better than he was early in the year, but now we're just using him too much. He can't. Right. He came in on Sunday. We're like, didn't he pitch 3 innings on Friday? You got to go to someone else. Then he pretty quickly ran out of steam, and the Canes gave the lead back, but fortunately Dorian's now just a home run hitter, so we jacked 2 home runs and the game won anyway. But when it was 6-4, you kind of gotta see the rest of that game out without them tying it, and they left Fisher in too long, and he got hit, and then Will Smith came in and retired 7 in a row with 4 strikeouts. It was just
that was huge. That was huge.
That was what won the game, really, because that just bridged everything. And
he was throwing harder than he's thrown all season. His curveball was wicked, falling off the table. He was just in a groove, and when the guy's in a groove like that, you let him do his thing, and he did. He really did, man. So
I was sitting near his family, and they thought he was done because he usually doesn't pitch that many innings. So. Right. He was done after the 7th.
Did he go 3 innings?
Well, it was. I think it was 2 1/3 because he got the last out.
Oh, that's right.
And then pitched the whole last out of 6, pitched all 7. They thought he was done. They kind of like exhaled. Then he goes back out there for the 8th, and it's like,
no, he got him out.
And also, I think we finally do have someone that's claimed the closer spot. I think Brian Walters did his thing, but both.
I think he should have been. I know we speak about this a lot, but I think he should have been the closer from the get-go. Right? He doesn't have starter stuff. He's a guy that's going to come in 95, 97 and just shut the door real quick. It's hard when you're tired. Here's the thing that people don't realize, right? When you're tired, man, and you've gone 8 or 9 innings and you've played a lot of baseball, your body gets tired. So now you have to gear up and rev up and get ready to hit a guy that's throwing 97, 98 miles an hour. So now your body has to kind of get ready to make those reactions and those quick decisions on if you're going to – it's hard, man. So that's the guy you want at the end of the game.
It's also once you get used to seeing it a few times, it's much easier to hit it. And
absolutely,
you'll notice with his starts, it's usually the second time through the lineup. I'm like, all right, we've been staring at 95, 96 for 3 innings now, where it's kind of like we've caught up to it visually and they're able to hit it now. And then
exactly.
That's why, like you said, you see it's much more effective in a closer role where they're probably only going to see you once. So they can't really make those adjustments. And again, like you said, they're tired now. And then they've been staring at slower stuff for like 7, 8 innings. And now all of a sudden the heat's coming.
Yep.
A much more difficult adjustment to make than at the beginning of the game. And that's kind of what you've been seeing. So,
I agree.
So yeah, no, that's a good role for him. We got really good bullpen work out of Jackson had a good outing on Friday. Obviously Will Smith is the star of the weekend, I think, out of the bullpen. Carson Fisher was really good on.
You got to give him a rest, though. You got to give him a break.
Yeah, but he pitched well, ate some innings because of with the starters not going far, it was really a lot on the bullpen to get us through those games. And the meltdown on Friday notwithstanding, they did a really good job of that.
I agree.
Which is a pleasant surprise, given the way that the season have been going and the struggles they've been having, but. Oh man, we're still fighting ourselves a little bit. It feels.
I think that there's still just too much overthinking, overanalyzing, and trying to do too much sometimes, and you see it, and you still see it in the at bats. But I will say that they are getting better. They're getting better. I'll be honest with you. Not only was Will Smith, but on the other side, from an offensive standpoint. Cuvée is starting to figure it the F out because all of his at-bats were quality at-bats, right? There wasn't too much swing at garbage pitches. He looked relaxed. He looked calm, right? When the bases were loaded in that game on Sunday. And both Jake with the terrible – see, he had a terrible at-bat, struck out, and then you saw Fabio pop up to short right field. You were like, oh, boy, we're going to squander this perfect opportunity. This could be the turning point for the season right here. Is Cuvée going to have one of those shitty at-bats again where he's just going to swing at everything because he wants to hit the ball 900 feet? Or is he just going to sit back, find a good pitch, and drive it somewhere? That's exactly what he did. Hit a great pitch over to right center field, scored all 3 runs, and just had a great at-bat. And that's what you want to see from him. You want to see him do that, right? He's up to like 8 home runs now, which is great. So he's starting to get the groove. He's starting to get in the groove. And that's what you needed, right? Definitely you're going to need it now because Derek Williams is injured. How long is he going to be out? Who knows? You're going to need guys like him and Bobby Marsh, and Max Galvin to start hitting the ball a little bit better as well. We're going into a tough week.
Well, let's talk about Bobby Marsh because apparently
I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
We could say we need to step up and all, but apparently they'd rather have someone betting 150 in this spot, which I know
he hit one out, but still
hit one out. Yeah, exactly. But that's like a but. He struck out every other at bat.
The Goaties hit 2 out. So what are we talking about, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but he also he struck out pretty much every other at bat. Wasn't even close on most of those, and
right.
it's one thing, and we talked about this on Saturday. I was like, at least like have him catch so Tanner Smith gets a rest behind the plate because you don't want someone to have to catch
Yeah.
every single game. No, he's DHing. If he's DHing, you have the whole roster available to you. How do you arrive there? I know why they did it. He's obsessed with. We talked about this a lot last
Right.
year. He's obsessed with righty lefty matchups. But I mean that's what. So yeah, Bobby Marsh got benched, but then with that and with Williams out, we're once again with multiple starters.
Add another lefty to the lineup.
Yeah,
Six lefties. That's terrible.
Yeah, with Torres, which again we got lucky with a lot of low probability things in that game. Like Derek Williams is out, therefore Torres is in center, therefore Peralta's in right to throw the guy out at home plate when he was tagging. Right? I mean, there's stuff that we just like, hey, that all works. Sure. But it wasn't like that's not repeatable or like necessarily like 9 out of 10 times Tavares is not hitting a home. Like it's just like that's just not something that he's gonna do a lot of. So it's kind of like, yeah, great, that worked great. Is he going to play the rest of the season and do that ever again? I don't know. So it's just
baseball gods were on our side there.
Yeah, we finally got some breaks because we haven't been. That's fine. He's batting 260. Tavares is batting what 140 something.
Yeah.
Like I mean, come on.
He's second in the team in RBIs. Come on, you don't take that bat out of the lineup. I don't care if he's hitting 260.
And I think the way
RBIs, you don't take that bat out of the lineup.
And I think the way to kind of look at how the opposing team scouts us, right? First thing we're going to say is, all right, how do we deal with Cuvée? Second thing, it's probably Bobby Marsh. They're looking, okay, we got to make sure we pitch around him, make the other guys beat you, and we're just taking him out of the lineup.
Right.
No one's pitching around Tavares.
No.
And especially with Williams, potentially out, that means that you're going to have Mikey in there as well. You can't have two guys batting in the mid to low hundreds in your starting lineup. And then
no, you can't.
Then he sticks him in the middle. He's batting fifth, and it's just like, come on, man.
And I'm still not understanding the whole Renzo Gonzalez thing either.
I thought Todd was playing well, and then he got benched again.
You pointed something out that boggled my mind. He has 0 RBIs.
He has 0. Let me double check. That's what they put on the scoreboard. I never actually came back and checked, but let me double check that. But it said 0 RBI, and I'm like, the scoreboard was wonky all weekend. It was giving wrong counts, wrong stats, wrong everything. So,
but if that's true, what are you even thinking about? What are we even thinking about there?
He does have 0 RBI. That is
0 RBIs.
He has no RBI.
There's that one throw Cuvée made to T Hud on Saturday night. Does Renzo get to that? Because that ball was like 9 feet in the air. No,
so he's had 32 at bats and 0 RBIs. The only other players without an RBI, the only other two are Amori De Jesus and Adrian Arizaga, and they both have 3 at bats. Everyone else has an RBI. Even Nolan Johnson has an RBI.
I'm also,
it's like you should have accidentally like walked with the bases loaded or something at this point. Like, how do you not have a single RBI? Oh man, he has 32 at bats, no RBIs.
That lineup that we spoke about, Bish, is their best lineup, and they need to. Well, now with Derek
out, I mean, you're gonna. I think you're probably gonna see Torres, and I don't. The only alternative I can see is if you want to stick Marsh in the outfield. But then you're still.
Well, you can put T Hud. T Hud played outfield at Liberty. That's what he was. He was a right fielder.
You're still chasing a batter though, because we really only have 9 guys that can hit. Oh. I mean, Renzo. Look, as much as like the 0 RBI thing is just like shocking, he is batting in the 200s. Like that. This is how my standards have dropped. Like, at least he's batting in the 200s because everyone like the other options aren't.
Yeah.
Right. So you can at least still put if you put like Renzo at first and T Hud in the outfield and DH Marsh or just rotate them in because Renzo's also played in the outfield before.
Right. Yeah.
You can if you put one of them in the outfield, one of them at first, and one of them at DH, you still have all your hitters at least above 200.
Yeah.
But once you start, Gabby's another favorite that he loves to just wedge into games. Same with Renzo.
I don't know, man, but at this point, I might give Nolan Johnson, Arizaga, and Amari De Jesus more time.
Well, if you're gonna use them as a DH, you can play anyone because they're just batting. So since Tavares homered, I'm sure he's the DH now for the next month. But I don't know.
I mean, look, if you want a righty bat, Tavares is probably the guy right now.
I think that was the only hit he got in both those games.
Yeah, but he provides a level of power, of pop, right?
He's got 2 home runs.
I think that, yeah, I mean, but if it's a guy that plays consistently, he can hit some home runs. He's got that power, he's got the pop, but I just don't know.
Okay, he batted 4 times. He batted 6 times, this weekend. He struck out 4 times. The home run, obviously, and then the other time he got out, it wasn't a hit. I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough. It's what? Now that I think about it, JD has a tough choice to make. With those guys.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can DH Todd. Like if you're gonna, again, like I don't think Renzo is definitely has not warranted playing in front of Todd, but he is batting like 240 or something. You don't have to drop all the way down to like,
right.
This guy's batting 125. Let me see what he's got. Like he's doing it because thinks he's the best available righty. That's the mistake he's making. He's not taking the best.
The other option is to put
because if I see
first and then Puig at third, you're not losing.
Also not hitting, right? And I think when I start having I agree. We're low on options. We talked about this last week before Derek got hurt. There's kind of only there's 10 guys on the entire team batting over 200. So you don't have a lot of options, but I just don't agree. And hopefully I continue to be wrong because Tavares hit one out yesterday. But like
we'll just keep talking trash about him and then
yeah. I mean, we're even talking trash. We're talking trash about JD, if we're being honest. Like, what are you doing, right? I mean, the kid's going up there and trying.
Right.
It's the freshman that's hard. You haven't played much this year, and here's an ACC game. Duke's a really good pitching staff. Go hit, man. Like that's hard. But the thing is, I do have the reason it gets a lot more scrutiny because again, Derek's out. He's gonna have to figure something out. But when you're putting someone batting under 200 in the DH spot and Bobby Morris is sitting on the bench. That's when it's like, okay, that shouldn't be happening.
Right.
I understand you got to make choices now with an injury, and like we don't have a lot of bats, we don't have a lot of options. That's fine, but like one of your better hitters is healthy and on the bench. At that point, then the rest of it becomes scrutinized.
Yep, I agree. Well, now you're gonna need them all because you got a tough league ahead of you. You play Florida Atlantic, and then
tomorrow,
play one of the top 10 teams in the country and Georgia Tech after that. So
yeah, Georgia Tech's coming in this weekend. So I said this a couple of weeks ago. Still holds. You got to win every series. From here on out, they're 2 for 2. One up, beat Duke. Got to find a way this weekend because again, look, we have now crossed over and 20-17, man. We're 3 whole games over 500.
Wow.
But also, like, I mean, we're 6-9 in conference, which isn't, in this conference isn't that terrible. The reason why because let's say you lose this series 2-1, you're like 7-11, and then you continue because the rest, again, the schedule lightens again, you keep winning. So you can get it back close to 500 in the ACC, which, can definitely get you into the tournament. But you got to have some kind of quality win, and they've blown. North Carolina, Wake Forest, Florida State were opportunities for that. They didn't win any of those. You can't show up with like a 500 ACC record and no wins that anyone cares about, right? You lose to Connecticut at home, that makes things even worse. So it's just they need this win just to say when they put the resume up at the end, the RPI is there, the 1 loss is there, the conference record, one of the best conferences is around 500. And they beat that team. You need they beat that team.
Right.
So that's why they got all this.
I agree. You got a couple shots left with Georgia Tech, Virginia, a couple other teams. So
yeah, Georgia Tech's definitely a much higher rated team than Virginia's fallen off a little bit.
Right.
But Virginia would be impressive as well. But you kind of need those around the resume and say, okay, yeah, they've also got quality wins.
I agree.
So this is it's a home, man. You got to protect your home field.
Holiday weekend, I understand that. Make sure you guys go out there and support this team. I think that they still got a real shot of making the tournament if they can continue to produce and win some games.
Yeah, Bark in the Park on Saturday too. So
on Saturday, yeah, make sure you go out there, you have a good time, you support this team. They definitely need it. And
Yeah, so I think
right
so.
now it's gonna be
Real quick, as we wrap up.
relying on this pitching. Fish, you got to rely on the pitching.
Well, that's my question. So the starters got rocked last week. Like, I mean, we
I
still
think you
stick
stick with
with
the same
the
guys.
starting Darius. I don't think we have options. So.
Yeah, no, I think you stick with the same guys. I think that at this point, it's Johnny Holstaff type. 3 or 4 innings for
Hopefully,
each.
we can get a better start out of Hugus, and then we don't have to like burn the bullpen on
Yeah,
Friday. Well, that's
we
actually
need a win. We need a win on that Friday night. We need Hugus to come through, and then the other two worry about and just go Johnny Holstaff, right? Those other two, and make sure that you just keep them unbalanced. You hit when you have to, you execute, and hope they.
and use more pitchers than just Carson Fisher.
Yeah, absolutely,
Before
absolutely.
the arm falls off. So.
I agree.
All right, last thing, milkshake. It's Georgia Tech's in Atlanta.
Georgia.
So they could keep it clean and go something like peach or, Coke is in Atlanta. They could do like a Coke float type thing.
I'm gonna go with peach. I'm gonna go with the peach cobbler shake.
Okay, I was thinking like what disgusting thing, and then I remember that place, the Varsity, is like famous for their chili. So I'm gonna go. They're gonna
chili dogs.
Throw some chili dogs into a milkshake. That is what I'm going with. It's going to be a milkshake with like a piece of hot dog floating in it. That's what
with a wiener.
That's what I'm going with. I'm going with the chili dog milkshake.
Chili dog, and I'll go with the peach cobbler shake. Hopefully,
yours would actually be edible.
For sure, I would eat that. I would definitely.
The pimento cheese did not hit. They cheated. We sat there and thought about shit about Duke, and they just went with the Masters is this weekend. Look, we got screwed. That's the second time they've defrauded our competition here.
Listen,
we're not doing a milkshake. We're into a contest.
Chick-fil-A is from Atlanta, right? From
too expensive to buy their stuff.
Yeah.
Here's some grape. That was not the best pimento sandwich. Let's just put it that way. So they can't afford to sell 200 milkshakes with Chick-fil-A wedged in them.
So bad.
It's too expensive. The sandwich is worth more than the milkshake.
We'll be out there, Vish. I'll be out there at least for a game or two.
All right, we'll be out there.
But make sure you keep it locked here every Monday night. I know I'm losing my voice. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Been traveling all day. I'm done and I'm hungry.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
Adios.